let's not act surprised with them losing to Middlesbrough. What we saw yesterday is a symptom of a greater illness, which is a club that's been put together just throwing money at it without any rhyme or reason, by heart, and put everything together. I think yesterday the only saving grace could have been Moises Caicedo. But there's talks about, oh, Chelsea needs to reinvent themselves. How much more money do you want to spend? And that just goes to show you that money doesn't buy success. It needs to be well thought out. The players need to be studied. So numbers need to be looked at.
You think they don't have the right players or enough quality to win games like this?
It's either that or the manager's the wrong choice.
Yeah. Pochettino came in last spring and just observed, right? He didn't touch the squad. He made an idea. All right, this is what I'm going to do for the preseason following into next year. This is where they're at now. You think it's still a bigger issue than Pochettino just coming in and saying, these are my players, I know who I have, I'm going to shape the team in the way that I want to play, and you still think it's beyond Pochettino?
Are you suggesting?
No, hold up. It is definitely.
I think this
part of Pochettino.
I think this falls more on his shoulders than anyone else.
But yeah.
But what do you do then, Charlie? Because they're sitting 10th in the Premier League. If this is falling on Pochettino, do you just go back to the drawing board and bring in a new manager? Who would that be, by the way? And then think, okay, let's just give this new manager some more money to spend if we have more money to put into it. It feels like there's no way out.
You have to stick with him.
Well, that was the idea behind getting Pochettino, because Chelsea have been on season after season of quick coaching hire, quick fixes, not long-term plans. We all agreed on this table that if you hire Pochettino, it's going to be a long-term plan. You have to stick it out. If it was any other manager, because Poch in the Prem has a credibility with what he did with Spurs. If it was any other manager, everybody would, and Southampton, of course, but at a bigger club with bigger egos, he has that it backs him. Any other manager, they'd be asking for his head right now. So it just comes to show you that it's not only that, it's a poor project. It's a poor project that not even money justifies what's the result you're seeing on the field. In fact, the expenditure of Chelsea, you have to be getting much better results, and you're getting quite the opposite. What was the stat that was going around social media since the start of last year or last season? There are only 2 teams that have lost more games than Chelsea.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest and
you could have just said
and
2
Bournemouth.
teams.
But I don't know if it's since the start of last season or last calendar year. Regardless, it just comes to show you that around the Bowley takeover, that somebody can't just come and spend cash, and it seems mindless, and this is the product of that.
I think the biggest problem is where do you go from here? Because it feels like in some ways Manchester United are having the same problem, right? So they had the problem, is it Eric Ten Hag, is that the players will put all this money in, nothing is coming to fruition. Is the vision from the manager right? Okay, so let's bring in a new percentage of an ownership group that does have a good vision. Do you think Chelsea are going to be forced to go down that same road? Is that an option for them? Or do they just look at this and think, okay, we're 10th in the Premier League, it's a bit of a write-off of a season, and let's rebuild for next year?
I think, unfortunately, you're in a position now where you're just going to have to give. I would assume Pochettino has at least one more summer transfer window to try to get this at least more right. I don't want to say get this right, because I think for Chelsea, a club that has won every single trophy available to them,
including the Champions League, 2 years ago?
Every single trophy available to them. Getting this right means winning another major trophy, and I don't know if they're 12 months away from that, to be completely honest with you. I think getting them back into Champions League football is a massive win for Chelsea right now, and that is a stepping stone to getting them back where they used to be. Pochettino.
How long do you think that's going to take them?
To be honest with you, it doesn't feel like it's a year out. It feels like that's at least 2, minimum. And that's getting a lot of things right, including being able to put this team together. You brought up Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva's past his prime. Is that the guy that you really want? I mean, mind, yes, he's there physically.
Sorry, look at the back line. Look at the back line. Malo Gusto, what do you rate him?
I don't.
Top right back in the world? We're going back to our conversation. I don't think he even comes into consideration. Axel Disasi.
No.
More like Axel Disaster.
Thiago Silva.
Levi Colwill.
This team, Chelsea.
Colwill's young.
Right.
Yeah, so isn't Gusto, so isn't Disaster.
Yeah.
They're all young.
Colwill has shown you that he has the ability to be someone who can keep, I don't want to say lead the line, but obviously keep a position on a back line for a major team. I don't know if he's shown the consistency. And also when you bring in Pochettino, part of why you bring him in is his ability to not just work with the big egos, but his ability to build up youth players.
Well, Colwell's not a left back either. He's a center back.
Yeah.
So you're playing guys out of position,
and
although
you have injuries too.
Yes.
Granted, that's going to happen. But for the standard of Chelsea that has their reputation has been built to understand that this club has to be competing for the best trophies. You look at the team again; it goes back to the project. It's not a good squad. I don't think it's a good squad.
Well, if you look at the other teams we mentioned, right? We talk about even major clubs of the ilk of Chelsea, or you would expect Chelsea's fans want them to be. They have a system. They have a way they play. What is the Chelsea way? Do we still have that? Has that been removed from the club at this point because they're so far gone from major success, which again was only 2 years ago, but even then it was sort of pieced together. Do we know what type of players Pochettino wants to bring in? Do we know how he wants to play? Is it the same way he played at Southampton and Tottenham? I haven't seen that put together in a way where I have confidence that it's one or two pieces left and they're going to get there.
Well, he certainly doesn't have a Harry Kane.
No, he does not.
Yeah.
So
Cole Palmer is a beast,
well,
though.
they probably should just be thankful that this tie didn't happen next year because it's going to be just a one leg, isn't it, next year for the semi-final. So they have got a chance to turn it around.
Michael Carrick standing up.